Perfectly timed for Mother's Day. Every day's Mother's Day. But graduations, May is Gold Month. We've been talking about how we'll use any excuse to bring you more gorgeous gold. And in this case, this is that bold contemporary look in a tricolor cross that is $69.95. It's on those 4 monthly payments, and that is an easy way to acquire this.
Men or women.
I was just going to ask your opinion on that.
You know what? This is a size that I could easily see on a man. You know, not every man likes big.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is considered pretty big. Okay,
but there's a sleekness to it.
Yes, there's a sleekness to it. The bail size is large enough, you can see it there, so that if a guy wanted to wear it with a rope, we have one of those coming up in the end of the next hour. But it's a beautiful size piece, you know, and think about one of the ladies who was selling that mop this morning showed me a cross that she bought in Piazza San Marco 20 years ago, an 18 karat, a little small
Alexander Baker, I think.
Yep, Alexander. Yeah. And this will be a piece that when you receive it at home, whomever you give it to, they'll remember the year, they'll remember the time. This is so classic. So beautiful.
This makes no sense that it's $69, okay? Because I love fashion jewelry as much as the next girl, maybe even more. And I totally appreciate it. But then when I see and I've got a collection, don't get me wrong, bring it on. When I see something like this that is so fine, that is a treasure, that is that spiritually significant piece, that is the lifetime piece for either a guy or a gal, and it's going to work with all of those chains. You can pick your favorite brilliant chain. You can slide three through that
1 7/8
that bail. You're going to have a heyday wearing this for $69, okay? We just wanted to mention that, point that out, because when you look at this, you might think it's a $300 cross.
And then look at the reverse side, completely high polish. Well, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. These come from Italy, and let me explain to you how they do these. They create tubes of gold. And we know we can determine the wall thickness of that tube. But in a case like this, we have to actually cut those tubes at an angle, two of them, and then they fit together with a little groove in the center, and then put the end caps on them. But it's all very, very high precision. So we determine when we make this if we want it that 1/100th of a gram less. Now, I agree with you. Looking at this piece,
it doesn't look like it's a $70 cross.
It definitely, I can tell you this, if you go out into the marketplace, you are not finding this cross.
Look at that.
And you can feel the weight of the cross. It is not paper thin. Believe me when I tell you. It's not a casting. Had it been a casting, then it would have been impossible for us to sell it for anything less than $200, because when you make
it's tubes, it's not stampato.
It's a tube of gold, but it's a square tube, which is really the strongest.
Right.
They're cut at angles on the ends.
See?
So
like
it gives you it gives you almost like the facets on the sides of the stone as opposed to the table.
Right.
So you get a big look from it. The bail, I always insist on making sure that those bails will fit the end consumer, because there's nothing more frustrating than buying this as a gift, going to give it to someone, and the next thing you know, they go to put the chain through and
it doesn't fit. That's
now
a bummer.
What do?
Yeah.
That is not happening with this. You can see it on Sue. So I could see myself easily wearing this chain. I wouldn't wear the brilliant chain with it as a man.
Right.
Okay, but we have a rope chain coming up. The Figaro is too big for this because that's a 5mm.
That's a great shot, guys. Thank you so much.
Any classic chain that you have would work perfect with this. The tricolor.
How does the tricolor work into it? How does that get...
The white rhodium is actually done in a bath, and the rose, same thing. There's 2 ways to do that. You can do it in a bath. You paint it. You paint it with nail polish, but you don't paint the section that you want plated.
It's like batik, a relief kind of thing.
Yep.
So the gold gets deposited wherever protective
it's not
other. Right. Oh, that's incredible.
But you'll love the size of the piece, obviously what it stands for. But again, You know, crosses become part of you.
They really do.
You know, and with the layering that's around today, you can take a cross like this and put it on a 30-inch chain. It looks perfect. You could put it on the 22-inch chain. It looks...
Look, there's the rose with it. It just give you an idea. And remember, you have a bail that you could actually slide a couple of chains through it if you did pick up on that brilliant. And you could do your whole tricolor or two-color story in gold. I need to mention this. If you missed it, it is the today's special. It is your choice of an old